They trying to say you need $94,000 to live comfortably in America. What? Who the hell they talking? And then this study says if you are two working adults and you got 2 children, you need to be bringing in at least $209,000. Excuse me. See, the first thing I notice is they're talking about average instead of the median. The median salary for a single adult in America is about $42,000, and the median cost for a standard like family, right, 2 kids, right, is about $78,000. See, this is the game that the media will try to play with you to make you think in your struggle it's you. No, boo, it's the system. Because basically, the American life is becoming mathematically impossible for most Americans to even live. Right now, the American economy feels like, one of those claw machines. You see the prize, you reach for it, but that claw never actually grabs tight enough to pull it out. So I'm asking, when you hear numbers like this, do they feel realistic to you? Or does it sound like they're describing a life that most Americans will never live?
I need to watch a few more videos because I'm not quite sure if she's saying that the number is ridiculous and unattainable because of, the job market, or it's ridiculous because that's a narrative that we're seeing on the media every day. I'm a hold judgment on that. I'm going to come back to that. But my opinion is definitely based on my interpretation of what she's saying. Let's keep it going.
I did everything right, so why does it feel the same? I have a 20-year career, a degree, a trade, all of it. But we're still watching every dollar. We're cutting back, thinking twice about everything that we spend money on. Why does it feel exactly like I'm in my 20s again?
What is
It's
this?
a Tesla.
Tesla Model what?
Why?
For $1,000 a month? Tesla Model Y? That's like a Model X type payment.
I didn't want to get a Tesla in the first place. I wanted to keep our paid off Equinox.
Sounds great.
She traded it in, got a Tesla.
Who the f has a Ram 2500?
It's a diesel truck.
Great. It costs $1,275 a month.
That's correct.
You bring in $3,333. The third of your income goes to this truck.
I do a lot of driving.
Every other country has figured out that you don't need a supersized wagon.
A third of his income goes to pay for this truck. Hold that for a second.
Like the truck bed in all these eras throughout even the start of trucks in this country, not only have they stayed the same, they've actually shrunk and the cabins have gotten better.
I've seen it.
You're paying way too much. What is the car?
X1 BMW.
People are going to debt for BMWs just so you can be the worst drivers on the road. What's the balance on this?
57?
56.
56.
What's the minimum monthly payment?
1,140.
Oh my gosh. I've never... 1,100 what?
Do I even need to keep going? So we looked at, this is the third video, and I think I'm going to stop here. I've got enough. Y'all are not trying to hear what I got to say. You don't want to hear this. The problem is us. For sure, inflation is bad, right? The economy is rough, for sure. But I'm looking at these people, and they have $1,000 a month car payments. That's not counting insurance. That's not counting maintenance. None of that, right? I'm sure I didn't look at the last two, but I bet you that the last two are comparable, right? The lady in the video before, and I'm sorry, I got allergies, so forgive me. The lady in the last video before this was complaining because she has a 20 years in a profession, and she's got a degree and all this experience, and now she's struggling like she's in her 20s. I get it, right? I totally understand that. And she's upset because she feels like she's regressed, that she's going backwards. And the problem is everything else. The economy is the problem. The government is the problem. And I'm not a government apologist. I'm just pointing out the fact that this is where we are. AI is the problem. All these other things come into this situation. It's the problem. In this situation, cars are just expensive. So if you want a new car, you got to rock with these. You got to pay $1,000 a month. There's no way around it. All right. Let's finish this off before before I, lay into this.
And one of the worst financial decisions that I've made. He tried to talk me out of it, and I said no.
A Toyota 4Runner?
I wanted a 4Runner. So once we did the
You
consolidate,
did a consolidation, then you got a 4Runner? You
Yeah.
guys are a fucking mess. $37,087.96 at an interest rate of 7%. Sell the 4Runner tomorrow.
I'm thinking of getting a Tacoma.
No. You're driving the beater until it's dead.
I think I deserve a
I
Tacoma.
need to make sure you agree with me.
Get a beater.
This is what you are doing, or else I'm ending this thing now.
Is it negotiable?
Yes, a $10,000 car.
Okay.
Where are we gonna get 10,000 from?
Shop to use. It's not gonna be great. It's gonna be years old, and then you upgrade once we're out of debt. Do you agree to this or no?
Well, what if I?
Agree to it or no?
But our daughter needs a car too.
Nope. She can work and get her own car. You agree to it or no? Oh, you already
I
work
wanna
60
keep
hours
the
a week.
runner.
Okay. Then that's it. I'm
Okay.
ending the episode. I'm done. What possible car is?
So there it is. I mean, I don't have to say it. It's already said, but that's really what we're talking about. This is the uncomfortable truth. No one's trying to hear this. People act like they're owed something. I get it, right? You see what you see on TV. You see these lifestyles. You read these articles, or you see these videos, like that one video that we did a few back that said, you need, what was that bananas thing they said? You need to make what's that lady? Yeah, a single adult needs to make $94,432,000 a year to be comfortable in this country. That is crazy talk. Can we? Let's pause for a second, because I'm hearing this and I'm trying not to go crazy. So I'm in a family of 3, and our house is newish, right? It's a few years old, so still new. The mortgage on that house is like $3,000 a month, and I'm in Las Vegas, right? That's already expensive, right? I'm already thinking maybe I overstepped, right? I was silly. I could have done better. I could have thought this out better when I was then, but I wasn't as I didn't have the perspective that I have now, right? So in order to pull that off, in order to comfortably eat, pay our mortgage off, maybe put a little bit of it to the side, we probably, no, not probably, doing the math, we need about $10,000 a month, right? And that covers our car, which is, our car payment is about $500 a month. Insurance is another thing. And our car is a little older, right? It's not a new EV or hybrid. And we would get by at $10,000 a month, which before taxes is $120,000 a year. And that's for a family of 3, me, my wife, and my 11-year-old preteen. All right. Real talk. All right. Why does, and this is a new home in Las Vegas in a nice gated community, why would a single adult need to make $94,432 a year? Bananas. Who said that? More importantly, why do people believe that narrative? Why do people hold that and then start living a life they think that needs to live up to that? Right. So now you gotta have the Tesla. I can't even imagine how many Teslas I've seen, or the Rivian, or the new car on the road, right? You gotta have that, because otherwise, what are you doing, right? And of course, you've gotta have the gym membership, right? Whatever that is, right? And of course, you gotta have the new toy, iPad, the PS5, whatever that is, right? And of course, why wouldn't you upgrade to the newest phone, right? And of course, why aren't you going to the restaurants every weekend, right? And traveling all the time? Well, of course, who's not doing that? I tell you who's doing that. Everybody's doing that. That's why everybody's broke. The national average in this country is $93,933. Who's living like that? Who is living like that? Now, again, in order to be, and this is in Tampa, apparently, 2 working adults and 2 children need to make $209,000. I don't even know where this is coming from. I don't know where these calculations are coming from. I don't know where this math is being pulled from, but this is crazy talk. Look. If people don't take control of their finances and stop blaming inflation or the economy or the government or their daddy or their upbringing, any of that other stuff, right? And start affecting personal change. Things that you can do. Little changes that you can do in your life. Your life is going to stay spiraling out of control. I can only blame myself for any financial situation that I'm in. And trust, I am not in the best financial situation. That is not Trump's fault, Biden's fault, Obama's fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's my own. Now, it's always going to be hard. Different administrations make it difficult. There's always going to be challenges, right? There's always going to be racial barriers or sex barriers or ageism barriers or expenses barriers, travel barriers. Pick a problem, right? Pick a problem. AI, lack of jobs, low paying jobs, crappy companies. Pick your poison. But I'm looking at this and I'm just thinking, man, people are entitled, man. People think that they're supposed to have a certain life. They're supposed to have the Netflix and the Hulus and the Disneys and all that, right? You got to have all the streaming services and Amazon. You know, you're supposed to, right? Because everybody's got it, right? Everybody's got it. That's the bare minimum. I went to school for X amount of years, of course. I'm a marketing person. I do X, Y, and Z. I'm a professional artist. I'm a professional. Pick one. Pick your job, right? And you put in all this time and effort, and now the fruit of your labor is supposed to be this. But nobody remembers that when your parents were coming up and they were struggling and they didn't have a third of the opportunities that you had, right? That you enjoy today, and they still were able to scrape and make something happen with a lot less money and more obstacles, more challenges, right? So I don't know. I'm hearing this and it's blowing my mind. It's blowing my mind. And I want to go back to what the other sister said in the other video because she's the one I wanted to listen to again. Let's run this back one more time.
What the hell is really going on? I am at a point in my life, I'm 32 and I'm 33 this year. I'm at a point where I have my career. I'm making life-changing money.
So she's making life-changing money. So either way, even by her 33-year-old standards, she's making decent money. But all right, let's listen.
Like, if this was me back in 2018, my God. But anyway, that's not. I make great money, but it doesn't feel like it. And I'm so.
It doesn't feel like it, right? That's the part I want to zero in on. It doesn't feel like she's making great money. What is it supposed to feel like, right? Is it supposed to feel like all the stuff now, right? You're supposed to have everything now. I mean, at 30 years old, in your 20s and 30s, at least if I had my head on right when I was in my 20s and 30s, and not like I was partying or anything like that, but real talk, work hard in your 20s so you can invest in your 30s and play in your 40s and 50s. Jill Scott, I got to go back and find that Jill Scott post where she said, she broke it down where you can work hard in your 20s, work in your 30s, play in your 40s, relax in your 50s, and choose in your 60s. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm sorry, I cut her off. Let's hear what she got to say, y'all.
So confused. Like, this economy is so trash. And I don't want to hear anybody talking about, oh.
What does that mean, the economy is trash, right? Like, gas prices are high. For sure, I get it, right? I get that. But then, on the other hand, the other day I had a job that I had to go to in California, and my mind was blown because the gas was $6 a gallon. I couldn't believe it, right? $6 a gallon. So I had to rent because my car isn't in the greatest. It's okay, but I didn't want to put my car through that kind of trouble. So I drove from Vegas to California, and I rented a vehicle from Enterprise. It was a hybrid. It was some kind of Kia hybrid, right? And it was my first time driving a hybrid, and it was very nice. It was very nice. It was a full-size car. But I spent total, and this is from driving here to California, doing a lot of runs in California because I had to go way out to Oxnard or something, doing a bunch of runs and then driving back. The total amount of gas I put in that car was $100. I was I was like, wow, that is amazing, right? Even with $6 gas, I put $100 in that tank. It was beautiful, right? So it made me realize, yeah, having a hybrid would be nice. I don't have to get the most expensive hybrid. I'm certainly not spending Tesla money or Rivian money. You know, I can get a little Kia if I had the money to do that. Or get an older used car, if you can. But she said,
You don't have order and structure.
man, I hate TikTok. Sorry.
Can we have an honest conversation? And I'm so confused. Like, this economy is so trash. And I don't want to hear anybody talking about, oh, you're living above your means or you're not saving. Saving? Jesus Christ.
And that's another thing. Why can't you save? Like, I know it's difficult, but why can't you save? I know the first thing people are going to say is, I don't make enough money to save. All right. So the question is, what are you willing to cut back? Let's talk about that. People say, I can't cut back. Well, that's not necessarily true. No apartment is going to rent to you unless you make 3 times the amount, because that's what they do. They run your credit. They run your finances. If you don't make 3 times the amount of living in an apartment, meaning they're calculating that you can pay the rent and you can pay for your basic expenses and be okay in that apartment. So you got enough. You got the cushion if you're budgeting, right? If you are living in a place like an apartment or a mortgage, they're not going to give you a loan for the mortgage, and they're not going to give you rent for. They're not going to give you rent the apartment to you if you can't afford a certain number, right? So you can do it. It's just, what are you willing to sacrifice to do it? So you can save. So let's kill that narrative right now. You can put a little bit of money aside to save. All right, let's keep going.
It's like, gas is almost $5 a gallon. Getting fruit at the grocery store is like $8.
Ain't no $8 fruit. Come on. I'm sure if you want to get the expensive kiwi or whatever organic fruits, yeah, for sure. But come on now. Come on. Ain't no $8 fruit.
What did I see for $8 the other day? Was it grapes? It was something. And I was just like,
Don't get grapes. I mean, come on.
I ain't never. I just feel like y'all not mad enough. Like,
Mad at who? Mad at who? Mad, what? Mad at the companies? Mad at the government? Mad at who?
I feel like I am being ripped off. Like, I'm unmarried. I don't have kids.
So she's 32, she said. I think she said 32. And she's made a choice to commit to her career. So she should be leveling up, first of all. She's not married. She doesn't have kids. And she feels like she's being ripped off. Like somebody is taking something from her. Mm-hmm.
So, of course, there's no benefit to that. We don't get any tax breaks. We don't get nothing. America hates single people without kids. Let's just say that. But seriously,
Because I don't think that's America hates single people without kids. I'm saying you have the most earning potential. So go out there while you have your 30s and go make that money and invest and put it aside. But no one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that.
something has got to give. Like, I am so tired. I'm tired of this. How are y'all doing it? I feel like no matter how much money you make, always just trying to survive right now. Yeah, wait.
All right, so I'm beating a dead horse. Look, you don't have to survive. It's hard out here. It's always going to be hard. It's going to be hard in 5 years. It's going to be hard under the next administration. It was hard under the previous administration. It doesn't matter who's in the office. It doesn't matter your political affiliation. None of that stuff matters. What matters is, what are you doing with the time and resources that you have? How are you spending your investments? Are you, I'm not saying you can't have fun, right? But in everything, it's place. That's all I'm saying, and nobody wants to hear that. Everybody wants to have me, and they want to do it now, and they want to live like the Robinsons next door. Everybody wants to be their next door neighbor, but nobody actually wants to acknowledge that the next door neighbor is quietly struggling, living beyond their means too. All right, that's it. To the next one, like and subscribe. Peace.